Testing, testing, testing. I believe we are live. Let me know in the chat if you can see and hear me. Okay. Let me know if you can hear the bell. Sluggo's here. Sluggo, can you hear me? Testing, testing. Testing, testing, testing. Good evening, Sluggo. How's the audio? Can you hear the bell? Can you hear everything, Sluggo? How's everything working? Let me know. On a Friday evening, August the 30th, 2024, at 1901 hours on the eastern seaboard of the United States of America. Let me know if all is okay audio-wise. Let me know. Hear you, but not 5x5. All right, well, as we get started, what we'll do is we'll do a few top topics, then we'll do some Q&A. And I think that'll be good for our Friday night. But let's test out one other feature that Restream seems to have, which is this feature about uploading your own music. Now, this isn't my music, but it's music I have access to and that I own copyright on. Well, kind of. But anyway, let's see if this works. Custom music that we can play. Voice is real scratchy. Scratchy. Let me check. This is USB. The voice should not be scratchy. Malachi. That's weird. Hang on. Well, if this doesn't work, then audio output should be that. Maybe, no, I'm going to put it to this. So voice should be good. Let me know if it's any different. It looks good on my end here. If we continue to have problems, then I'm gonna need someone to help me. Interference in sound, repeat, stretchy volume. Well, I have no idea what could be causing this. I'm not getting any notifications on here, and in the settings, everything looks fine. Everything looks fine as far as the audio input. So I don't know, Sluggo. Maybe it's something on your end. I'm not seeing anything. If anyone else can chime in, that would be good. I'm also broadcasting only to YouTube right now to try and eliminate some of the issues we had with the bandwidth in previous episodes of this show. So I don't know. Let's see if you can hear this, Sluggo. Let's play a song, shall we? Let's see if this thing works. See if you like this.
2, 3, 4. It's a crime that desire had to corrupt you. best is you'll be so gone by then that only God will be your friend. Yeah, yeah, yeah. When I rise from depression, I'll be against you. And you fractured oppression, I guess it freed you. Well, when you rise from this madness and see how guilty your past is, you'll be so gone by then that only God will hold your hand. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Rise from this madness and see how guilty your past is. I'll watch you burn in the fire. I'll be a bird on the wire. I'm ensconced with desire, but I can't handle the liar. When you rise from the madness and see how guilty your past is, you'll be so gone by then that only God will be your friend. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, anyways, let me know if the mic is working okay. That was a song called Infidel by the Staten Island band Das Frog. No longer working. No longer in effect. Harlan Sluggo, how's the microphone? Is it still scratchy? How's the microphone? Are we having the same problems that we had before? Testing, testing, testing. Maybe, testing, testing, testing. Let me know about the microphone. Let me know about the audio. We'll do a few top topics, then we can do Q&A, so long as the microphone is actually working. Please let me know in the chat if you can hear me. Testing, testing. Okay. All right, so maybe something temporary before. So let's just do a few top topics and take it from there on a Friday evening, see if there's any cuestiones. Microphones, all right, so maybe we had a little problem earlier. Maybe we're good to go. All right, let's get rid of this overlay. Let's let's do some share screen. Let's go over some top topics for the evening. Share audio system. Let's see if this can work. This is not giving me this option to do screen 2. Oh, there it is, screen 2. Let's see if this works. Okay, yeah. Roger's here. Roger. Good to see you, Roger. Yeah, we're up to 88 now. We're making our way up. And speaking of that, here's the community tab. We got a poll going on the old community tab. So if you haven't voted, check it out. It says, what should the tagline be for this channel? Should it be A, Frankie knows things? That's the old green bean quote. Frankie knows things. So far, 33% of the vote coming in for old Frankie knows things. Or should it be straight cash, homie? That's the old Randy Moss quote about liquidity. That could be an option. 17% have voted for liquidity. Should be the tagline for this channel. But also, what about, it's not only who you have, it's also who else you have. 17% of the vote coming in for that one. So feel free to go to the community tab and let your vote be known. Let your voice be heard. Vote, vote, vote until it hurts. The old community tab for this channel. Now, topic number 2. Important topics for the evening. What happened last night in college football? Well, the University of Central Florida Knights, they beat the University of New Hampshire 57-3. And so, there you go. UCF entered the season, this says, with one of the best running back rooms. You might not know this, but we certainly do have one of the best running back rooms in all of the nation. And they put it on display last night. Senior Captain R.J. Harvey. So one of the reasons I wanted to go over this, a name you should know for next year's draft is R.J. Harvey. This dude is a dude. He's going to be a second-round pick. Yeah, Sluggo says, what about this report? Well, here's what happened, Sluggo. So The Athletic put out a report, and they quoted an anonymous agent, Sluggo. Who do you think the anonymous agent was? Take a guess. This is The Athletic. They put out, what they do is they contact disgruntled people. You remember that's what they did at the end of last season. That's what they did with the Zach Wilson saga. This is all The Athletic. And they contacted an anonymous agent. Which agent currently might have an axe to grind with the New York Jets and Joe Douglas? Which one? I would say probably the agent for one Hassan Reddick. So nothing to worry about, Sluggo. Yes, please do hit the like button as Roger indicates here. Now, back to the program. We have this guy named R.J. Harvey. I'm telling you about him because he's going to be one of the top running backs in the whole draft next year. So keep him in mind, R.J. Harvey. He's spectacular. I watched him last night. He's amazing. Knights rushed for 300 yards as a team for the first time since last year's opener. A major statement for the Knights in their stellar backfield. So some people may not realize that the UCF Golden Knights are now in the Big 12. So there was a lot of realignment that was going on, this year. And people may not have kept up with who landed where. For example, there's no more Pac-12. The Pac-12 is gone. See you later. We had years and years, dozens and all these years of history. Goodbye. Pac-12, no more. Well, now who's in the Big 12? So we basically have it's now the Big Power 4 conferences. One of them's the Big 12. You got Colorado, Kansas, UCF, Utah, Arizona State. Arizona, BYU is in this conference now. Baylor, Cincinnati, Houston, Iowa State, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, TCU, Texas Tech, and West Virginia, all in the Big 12. So that's what we got now in the Big 12. And we got Pure Adrenaline Sports showing up over here. Look at this guy. Where you been, buddy? Great to see me back. Yeah, great to see you hanging around here. Senor, good to see you. Sluggo says, were the Knights running the triple option? They were running the triple option, Sluggo. I'll tell you why. Because the quarterback is KJ Jefferson.
And I don't know if you know who he is, but he's a transfer. He's a senior. He's going to be going into the draft, and physically, he looks like Cam Newton. He's 6'5". He's 250 pounds. Okay, he's a big dude. You cannot take this guy down. Now, his problem is throwing, but they're running a lot of triple option because the kid can run. He can run you over, and of course, he can throw. But that's where he needs to improve. This is the throwing part. But he's a big 250-pound quarterback. Think about it. So they got Gus Malzahn is our coach, our head coach at UCF. Where did Gus Malzahn come from? He came from Auburn. Who was the quarterback? Cam Newton. So now he's got his Cam Newton 2.0, only this kid's not really as good as Cam Newton. Flex or wishbone, I'm sure we ran it a few times, but not primarily, Sluggo. But we got like 3 or 4 running backs, so we could do that kind of stuff. And a running quarterback. So you want to see running game, you turn on a UCF game, Sluggo. And what I'm trying to tell you, we're in the Big 12 now. So this is the big boys. We're in one of the big boy conferences. So we're going to be playing Colorado, for example. The Colorado and Deion Sanders coming to my campus, going to be right over here in a couple of weeks. So we're going to be playing these people. BYU, obviously the Zach Wilson alma mater. Cincinnati, Sauce Gardner alma mater. And so forth and so on. So just a very interesting conference. Obviously, there's not 12 teams in here anymore. There's 16. So that's interesting. But this is the new deal. This is the new deal. Roger says, my brother from Flatbush also moved to Florida. Yeah. Said most of the people that's right. Well, Florida, that's right. A lot of people move here. It's a good place to move to, Roger. You get sunshine. You get no state income tax. You get warm weather. You got plenty of sports teams. What are you going to hang out in the snow for? It's no good for you. So anyway, so this is what's going on at UCF. And obviously, I'm going to keep a close eye on UCF all year. This is where I work, so it's going to be easy to keep an eye on them. BYU, yeah, lots of people came out of BYU, of course. Steve Young also came out of there. And also their quarterback from the Bears, the 85 Bears, bad boy quarterback, he was also out of BYU. So lots and lots of running. Gus Malzahn is thought to be an offensive genius. I'm not so sure about that, but nonetheless, offensive coach. All right, next story is still in the Big 12 because Colorado played the North Dakota State Bisons, and they barely won. So I don't know if you guys caught this game last night. It was an exciting game. It really was a kind of a disappointing game for Colorado, even though they won. They won the game, but they're playing North Dakota State. Now, North Dakota State's an FCS school, so you should beat them, right? Sluggo says, I coached the triple option out of Power I for 10 plus years. Yeah, there you go. So I think you would like UCF's style of play because we're going to run the hell out of the ball because this kid, unless he shows improvement, KJ Jefferson, like if KJ Jefferson could throw the ball, he would be a top prospect. Whether he can or not remains to be seen. Now, on the other hand, Colorado has 2 prospects that are going to be in the top 5. That's Shadur Sanders. That's Deion's kid, the quarterback. And let's get rid of this. And so Sanders, first game out, 445 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, and that interception was kind of a luck thing for the defense. And then you have this incredible athlete named Travis Hunter. So these are names that you guys should get familiar with. I know we're not really into the draft mode right now because the season has yet to start, but the college season's starting. So we should start to get to know some of the guys who are going to be, part of our mock drafts and everything going around, everything having to do with the end of the season. We should start to figure out who those people are so we can know what to watch during the season. And Travis Hunter is an amazing player. If you saw this game, he had an incredible catch in the end zone that was unbelievable. And the other thing about him, if you haven't heard about Mr. Travis Hunter is he's a two-way player. This is a throwback, Sluggo. You're going to love this guy. He plays the whole game on defense. He's a cornerback. Plays the whole game on defense and pretty much the whole game on offense as a wide receiver also. And he's incredible at both. This guy's a throwback for sure. Had 3 tackles, 3 assists in the game as a cornerback. 3 total tackles, all solos is how they do it here in this box score. And he also had 7 catches for 132 yards and 3 touchdowns. This guy is amazing, Travis Hunter. He might be the first pick in the draft. Certainly second or third. Now, there's further information about these 2 guys as well. 85 Bears defense, yeah, the Ravens for sure. These are classic defenses, Roger. Our D, I mean, who knows? It depends. If I had to, well, it's going to be how you judge it, because we can get into this when we start looking at the film room, Roger. I'm going to try to show some of the weaknesses that we have and some of the things we need to look out for. Like in the old days with the Bears and the Ravens, the way they judged those teams basically was points against and yards against. We're going to give up more yards than those teams. Whether we give up more points, it remains to be seen. But our defense is going to give up some yards. It's designed that way. And we can talk about that when we go into the film room, if we get over there. So a couple of things to keep in mind with Colorado. They have 2 of the top 5 picks in the draft, and the news coming out about them now, in addition to everything else, is this. So let me know if you can hear this.
What do you?
This is Deion Sanders. This is not Deion Sanders, but this is somebody interviewing Deion Sanders. Let me know if you can hear this.
During Travis going in the draft.
Top 4.
Ooh, that's pretty beautiful.
Anywhere from 1 through 4. One of them is going to be 1.
That's what I'm talking about.
One of them is
Let's
going to be
speak it
1.
into existence.
And the latter one would not go behind 4. Now, all this is subjective because I know where I kind of want them to go. And let's not forget Shallow, okay? But I know where I want them to go. So there's certain cities that ain't gonna happen.
Okay, you on point.
It's gonna be. It's gonna be an Eli.
Where do you?
Okay, did you catch that? Did you catch that at the end? It's going to be an Eli, he said. The man said it's going to be an Eli. Remember what happened with Eli Manning? Do you remember what happened in history going back to Eli Manning? How he came to the Gigantes. The Gigantes were not the team that took Eli Manning. So, what Coach Prime is saying is, it doesn't matter if you hate him, Sluggo. This guy has some of the best athletes on his team, and he's telling us something. We can't close our ears to the people that we don't like when they say important things. He's saying something very important here, Sluggo. He's saying that these guys are not going to just go to whatever team drafts them. This is going to be drama. Drama, because these are 2, as I just said before, these are 2 of the top 4 or 5 players in the whole draft. And he's saying they're not just going to go to whatever team drafts them. So what the hell does that mean? I mean, what's going to happen then? Think about it. What team could be number 1? The Giants could be number 1. It could be who? It could be the Broncos. It could be the Giants. It could be, I don't know, the Commanders. Well, the Commanders are not going to need a quarterback. But if it's the Giants who are number 1 and they want, let's say it's the Giants that are number 1. This is very conceivable, right? The Giants wind up with the worst record. They have the first pick, and they need a quarterback because if they're bad, that means Daniel Jones is bad. They're going to move on from him, right? They're not going to stick with him, and they're going to want to draft a quarterback, probably. And so What if Shador does not want to go to the Giants? What happens then? This is something to keep an eye on. Sanders is saying it's going to be an Eli. So this is very interesting. Whether we like him or not, Coach Prime has two of the best players coming out in this draft, especially Hunter. I mean, I guess Travis Hunter, he has less control over. Shador Sanders is his son. He could, he could collaborate with Shador a little bit more than Travis Hunter. It's not his son. But Travis Hunter might be the better prospect, actually. Travis Hunter might be a generational prospect. Yeah, this is the way it's going, Sluggo. And there's probably going to be regulation on and guardrails given to these things. But all of the big teams have it. Like here we have something called the Kingdom. And the Kingdom is the NIL collective. And we have it. They have a lot of money and we can recruit players. But can we recruit like Alabama or Georgia? No. They got more money. So that's the way it is until there's guardrails. It's the wild, wild west. Yeah, well, you cannot like him, Sluggo, but I'm just telling you what he's saying here is important. I'm trying to stress this to you. Doesn't matter if you like somebody or not. When they say something that's important, you should listen. So that's what's going on with Shador and Travis Hunter. So that's very interesting. And I'm assuming you guys could hear that pretty good. So that would be an improvement over last time. So let's talk about next up on. Let's talk about the Oakland Ballers. So I mentioned the Oakland Ballers previously, and now this offer is over. I think it might have been Harlan who asked me about investment. Can I invest in the Green Bay Packers? No, that's over. And now the Oakland Ballers is over. If you remember, we talked about buying shares of this new baseball team, the Oakland Ballers. Well, they're a new team, and they reached their goal. They say the round is oversubscribed. That means they got more than they can handle. Not accepting new investments at this time. So maybe they'll do another round in the future, but they just raised $1.2 million. $1.2 million, they raised it. And guess what? I'm an owner of the team now. So we're going to see what happens with this. Probably lose all my money, but so what? Roger says, the game of football has changed. Look no further than Belichick and Saban exiting. Yeah. What was interesting was Saban. I mean, what has Saban done since he left? We've heard about Belichick. He's going to do a bunch of media stuff. So that's kind of interesting. And again, the same principle that applies to Dion, I would say, Sluggo, applies to Bill Belichick. Whenever he does those media things, I'm going to be listening. I don't care if I don't like the guy. He knows what he's talking about. So I'm going to be listening to Bill Belichick when he does his podcast and his Manning cast and any kind of media that he's on. I'll be listening. Because you can certainly learn a thing or two from old Coach Billy Belichick. But anyway, the Oakland Ballers, so this investment opportunity is now over. And the Oakland Ballers, they just keep winning. Win, win, win. That's all they do. Ballers win. Ballers sneak by Chuckers. 6 straight win. Win, win, win. That's all we do, winning. We're just going to keep winning. Win, win, win. Ballers win. And thought I would play, let's see if this can work. Remember I tried to play a video last time, it didn't work out. Let's see if you guys can, let's see if this will work. See if you can hear it and if it just works right. This is a trailer for the Battered Bastards of Baseball, which is one of the great, I would say, documentaries about baseball. And this is what got me interested in the Oakland Ballers. So let's listen to this trailer. This is about a real life team, an independent league team. And Yeah, this is what Sluggo. This is what we're talking about here. This is another reason to like these independent teams and to get involved, because this is a team that started from the community. From just a few guys wanted to start this team, and they wanted to start a team like the Battered Bastards of Baseball. Let's see if you guys can hear and watch this trailer.
Before steroids and multi-million-dollar contracts, there was a truly independent ball club. A bunch of guys who were hopeless dreamers looking for a second chance. In short, the best kind of people.
When we first heard about Bing Russell, there was this buzz about, well, who's Bing Russell?
And he was in the Magnificent Seven, and he's the sheriff from Bonanza.
My dad got killed 126 times, I think it was.
Why would Bing Russell come to Portland?
Bing was out to prove that independent baseball could work.
I think we charged Bing $500 for the franchise.
So we started from scratch. We're going to have open tryouts. Show us for the fools that we are, coming from Hollywood.
You'd expect maybe 40 or 50 people to show up, and I think 300 showed up.
Guys who drove, clear across the country and sacrificed this or sold this just for the chance to come and try out for the team.
I don't care, about the money. I just want to play ball.
There was no press handlers. There was no groomed image. There was just these furry, hairy, funny, great bunch of guys. And the things that happened on the field were absolutely insane.
Organized baseball didn't like Bing, and they did everything they could to make sure Bing didn't win.
You couldn't stand them. They couldn't stand him.
Portland is the greatest baseball city in the world.
We broke attendance records in the entire minor leagues that year.
Really emphasized fun.
The fans loved it.
I've never seen a ball team and fans behave the way they did with the Mavericks.
He created the most successful team in the history of minor league baseball.
I'm telling
This
you,
is going to be magic.
I'm telling you, if you watch this documentary, you'll think, stop. Okay. You'll think this is the greatest thing ever, and then you'll love the Oakland Ballers. It's the same type of situation. Is it going to work out? I don't know. Probably not. Probably not. But if you love sports, if you love independent sports, if you don't want the big corporate media, these big corporate giants getting involved and paying the basketball player who just got $60 million a year, okay, and he's got to wear 3 corporate logos on his jersey, okay, to pay him the $60 million. I mean, that's not what you want. What you want is a fun team. By the way, this team also has a pitcher that's a female. We got a female pitcher on the team. Now, here's the standing. You may be wondering, well, how good are they? Well, we're in second place, baby. And we're rising up. We won 6 in a row, 9-1 in our last 10 games. 6 games back. All right. 53-34. We got a squad over here. We got a squad over here. All right. We got the Missoula Paddleheads are in our sights. They're in our sights, man. All right. Look at this. The Grand Junction Jackalopes. Good thing we're not them. They stink. They stink. Yeah, if you've gone to, I went to a game in Sugar Land, Texas. In Sugar Land, Texas, they got a team called the Skeeters. Okay? The Skeeters. And it's a fun time. It doesn't cost you an arm and a leg. Parking is nice and easy. It's a good time as opposed to these other things. It's not such a great time. So we'll see how the Oakland Ballers do, but this is really in response to the A's moving out. So the A's are going, and here come the B's. You get rid of the A's, now you can go to the B's. That's the way I see it. And these guys are the new battered bastards of baseball. And that phrase comes from a book called Ball 4 by Jim Bouton. He said, we're the battered bastards of baseball, the best customers of the United States Postal Service forwarding address department. That's where that comes from. Now, I didn't go to any Long Island Ducks games. Free parking, $3 beer. And yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Roger. You know, parking's no problem. There's no headaches getting in and out of the game. And, you know, you have some beers, you have some dogs. You know what I'm saying? You have some fun. Everybody's having fun. You know, it's a good time. It's a good time. Yeah, there you go. There you go. So we did sign back Jason Brownlee, if you saw that one, right under here. So we did sign Jason Brownlee back to the practice squad and released Lance McCutcheon. If in case you missed that, we've done that in the last 2 hours. We did that. So it's kind of good news, bad news. It's good that we were able to get Brownlee back, but it also means the entire league said no thank you to Mr. Brownlee. So yeah, there was, even on the Skeeters, there's always these old major league teams. Like a couple of the guys on the other team that the Skeeters were playing were former major leaguers, you know, washed up guys, but nonetheless they were there playing. So it was interesting. Yeah, guys are managing and whatnot. Yeah, exactly. Shea Stadium. I mean, Shea Stadium, you had to take the train, I would say, even though it was, you know, packed inside of a train car, but still, I would say much better to take that 7 train, get it out of there. Trying to drive into Queens. I mean, driving into Queens itself is a nightmare, let alone Shea Stadium. All right, so beyond that, let's take a look at this. What else can we look at? Well, before we get to this, so this is the film room. Hang on a second. What if I do this? No, that doesn't work. What if I do this? What's weird about Restream, it's not necessarily clear how to switch around from... Oh, there we go. Maybe I just have to figure out how to use it. So before we go to film school, let's do Q&A if there's any, and if you want me to go into film. What I'm thinking about with film room is we got the 49ers week 1, and we need to understand how they're going to attack our defense, because it's not as simple as saying our defensive line against their offensive line. That's not how it's going to work. How it's going to work is they're going to look at the film from the Dolphins games, I think, and because they kicked our butts last year, if you remember. And they're going to look at that and say, okay, what are the things that the Dolphins did to do that to that defense? And let's do those things. And so I thought we could look at the film room to see what it was and how the Dolphins beat us exactly, especially their offense versus our defense, so that we can anticipate what's going to be on our televisions week 1. So we could do that. We could do Q&A, whatever you guys want to do. It's now 7:40 p.m. on the East Coast. So you let me know what you want to do. Gerbo is here. Gerbo Photius. Holy cow, Frankie is back. Yeah, I'm back. Gerbo. Snowball is here. Snowball Global. What's worse than lobsters on your piano? I assume this is a riddle. I don't know, Snowball. What's worse than lobsters on your piano? Your piano. Oh, Roger says, Shea Stadium was great coming from Long Island. Yeah, that's right. Coming from Brooklyn was no good. No bueno. The Broad Street Bullies. The 74-76 Flyers team. I'll tell you another good baseball documentary was one about Charlie Hustle. I don't know if you guys are big Pete Rose fans, but I think it's either Max. I think it's Max, HBO Max, or Amazon Video Prime has a 4-part documentary about Pete Rose. Great. I'm a big Pete Rose fan myself. I grew up liking Pete Rose. 2 lips on your organ, crabs on your organ. All right, these guys are bringing the jokes. Bringing the jokes. We got jokesters in the house. Jokesters in the house. The Red Army team wanted to quit because the Flyers were beating the hell out of them. Well, that's no good. So let me know if you guys want to do Q&A, film study, none of the above. What do you want to do? We can take a look at some of these plays that the Dolphinians ran against us to figure out what it is the 49ers are going to do to us. Because I guarantee you they're going to look at this film. Because don't forget, who's the head coach of the Miami Dolphinians? Well, it's Mike McDaniel. Where did he come from? Well, he came from the Shanahan tree. So, of course, Shanahan's going to go, okay, let me see what my buddy McDaniel did to these Jetsies that made them look so bad. Paul Klein says film room sounds good. All right. All we need is 1 vote. Pete Rose is being screwed. Yeah, I personally think he should be in the Hall of Fame. You know, and I think the Hall of Fame could look at it as a way to educate people. Create a special thing for him that goes through the whole sordid ordeal. The whole thing about gambling and how long he got banned for and all the things he suffered and what he did wrong. And just create an educational thing for kids and stuff like that. And why they shouldn't do that. But he's getting up there in age now. I mean, they should put him in before he dies. I mean, let's be honest. Put the guy in the damn Hall of Fame. Make a special display about why you should never bet on baseball and all that kind of thing. And just create, make it like that. Make it educational for the children. Here's why you shouldn't bet on baseball. Here's why you should never, even if you're betting on your own team, you still should not do it. That sort of thing. And then the Hall of Fame could have it both ways. They could say, yeah, we got Pete Rose in here, which is also going to generate a lot of people coming to the Hall of Fame. They're going to want to see the new display with Pete Rose and all. But they say, but we use it as an educational opportunity to let people know about gambling and how all the things that Pete Rose suffered for doing so and so forth and so on, and all the bad people that he got, in bed with, and the documentary goes into that. So there you go. Yeah, but it's still against the rules, Slogo. That's the thing. And also, they go through this in the documentary. There's also like things you might do as a manager. Remember, he was the manager. He was a player manager, then he was a manager. There's things you could do as a manager. Like, let's say you've used your closer for 3 straight nights, and now you obviously want to rest him on night 4. But you got money on the game, and you got a great closer, right? Like the Reds had in that era. They had the big 3 dudes. Are you going to bring him in or not? These are kind of the dilemmas. But nonetheless, it's against the rules, Slogo, and everybody knows it. Even if no matter what team you're betting on, you're not supposed to do it. And everybody should know that. Yeah, 5, do you think? Right? So that's the win-win for everybody, right, Turbo? This way, he gets in there. So all the people who want him in there, including Joe Morgan before he died, and a lot of the Hall of Famers that played with him, like Mike Schmidt and so forth, are all for him being in there. A lot of the old timers, Perez, all of his Reds teammates pretty much all want him in there. Reggie Jackson, he's close to Reggie Jackson, by the way. Close friends with Reggie. I love Reggie Jackson, personally. And they all want him in there. So you satisfy that crowd, but then you also use it to educate people, so you can satisfy the people who say you shouldn't do that because he broke the rules. That's what I think they should do. Well, here's what I would do, Snowball. This obviously comes down to 2 people. One is CMC, one is Breezy Breeze. Right? So if you're the type of person who enjoys having Jets on your team, then take Breeze. There's a lot of people in fantasy do not want their own team players on their fantasy team because it drives them insane. And I'm one of those people. I don't really want any Jets on my fantasy team. It's too much. It's too much. I'm already rooting for them. Then if I got to root for them extra because it's going to help my team, it's too much for me. So if you're that way, then you go CMC. Now you might take into consideration the injury. I don't know how the CMC's calf is going to play out, but if assuming CMC is healthy and it's all equal, that's the way to do it. CMC or Brees Lightning, you take the one depending on if you're the type of person who likes to have Jets on your team or not. Yeah, Joe Morgan was great. He was a great color guy on the broadcast. Great player, great guy, and great broadcaster. It's unfortunate that he passed away. Sluggo says, "Do you think Chris Johnson's all-purpose yards per could be threatened by Brees this year?" I don't know. How many did Chris Johnson have? I would say yes. Regardless of however many Chris Johnson had, I think Brees Lightning can challenge it. Yes, regardless. Brees Lightning could do, as I said before we drafted him, Brees Lightning is a special player. Yeah, Sluggo's the type of person he wants Jets on his team. Not everybody's like that. Some people have heart palpitations, Sluggo. All right, so let's see if we can do this. What happens if I do this? Okay. So here's the game. This is the game that we lost 32-0 to the Dolphins. Here's us kicking off. So let's see exactly what they did to us. Now let's see what happens if I do this. Oh, but then I lose the functionality. Well, for this one, for this series, let's see what this looks like. Does it go to the next play? Yeah. All right, so this up here is going to tell us what it is. So Tua is going to do a pass short right to Waddle for 8 yards right off the bat. Now, let's see what they're in. So they're in 11. So we got one running back here, tight end. We got 11, man in the slot. This is Reed down here. This is Sauce. And this is interesting because this is an unusual play where we have 5 down linemen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, Jermaine Johnson is technically characterized as a linebacker, which he is not, as we all know. So this is technically 5-2, but it's really, but in the data software and all that, it would say we're in a 4-3 front because Johnson would be our third linebacker, but we all know he's a down lineman. So for some reason, we come out in this game with 5 down linemen. This is Clemens, this is JFM, Q, and Jefferson, I think. Now, that's an unusual alignment. Why did we do that? What were we trying to accomplish with this 5-man front here? I don't know. That's a question. Well, whatever it is, it didn't really work. And it didn't really bother Tua too much. If you look, he doesn't look like he's confused or bothered or anything. From his body language, it looks like he likes the play they have called a little uncertain here. But then he puts another man in motion. So maybe he had a check, actually. Is this a check? So this is his first look. Looks like he's going to run something. He moves this guy out. Is this a check? Because you got JFM pointing, CJ pointing. Then he puts Waddle in motion again. I think that may be a check. You think that's a check? Now, here it is, short game. So this is the thing, actually, this right here is what I think the 49ers are going to do a lot against us. This kind of short game, all these 5 players, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, are negated by this play because they're all over here, and I'm just running the ball out here, basically. Now, CJ's got to come up. He's blocked. There's a lot of space out here. And Waddle, with his good speed, picks up 8 before our safeties can get there. So I think that's... I think that exact play, now we shouldn't come out with 5 down linemen, but other than that, that kind of a play is what we're going to see with the 49ers, I think. What do you guys think? Here's a question. Sluggo, McDonald Clemens will get run on or run over a lot. Well, there's a couple of things to keep in mind with that. One, our philosophy is we play the run on the way to the quarterback. So that's what happens with our attacking scheme. And 2, our linebackers, whether it's our linebackers and safety have to get into their run fits very quickly and well and diagnose very well. And so, it's going to be tricky. And it's going to be interesting to see if we have a third linebacker on the field, how much is Michael Carter going to play, or Ashton Davis, or are we going to go with Sherwood? Like on this play, I think the corner and safety were too far off the ball. It was not good reading by them on that play. And again, we were in an unusual front. It's not usual for us to have 5 down linemen. So I don't know what Ulbrich was thinking with that. I really don't. And therefore, the back end was probably thinking something different than what happened, right? So I think in that case, they did wind up too far off the ball. They got 8 yards. Now, yeah, CMC is it's going to be a lot of CMC. It's going to be, if he's healthy, of course. It's going to be CMC up the middle. It's going to be CMC on screen passes. It's going to be CMC on these little dump offs. You're going to see a ton of that. Ton of it. Boy, you watch. Quincy, right. So Quincy, but like, you have Quincy, you have CJ. If they get, if they don't make right reads, they get caught up in the traffic, then you're going to need to fill with either Sherwood or a safety, and they're going to have to make tackles. So like Chuck Clark could be a key player in this game. Is Chuck Clark going to click and close, or is Chuck Clark going to be like these guys where it'd be way too far back? You know what I mean? Eric Craig in the house. He was napping. Well, while you're napping, the competition's taking reps, EC. Sluggo, if I was coaching offense, I'd run right at Clemens and especially McDonald. Well, you can do that, but that's just directional. And then our linebackers have to come and fill, and the safeties. So it's going to be a matter of how well we read these plays out, in my opinion. I think this is a check. Because we got a motion here and then another motion. Let's get rid of this. Yeah, Chuck Clark is going to be a key player, Gerbo, in my opinion, for the whole season, and especially for this game. And he should be an improvement over Whitehead. Should be. Here it is from this angle. See, I think this is a check. What were JFM and CJ pointing at? See, like, look at that. This is a great block by their fullback there on CJ. All right, next play. Let's see what else they did. Again, shotgun. Going to be a lot of shotgun. Now we're in our 4 down linemen. So you see here, Ulbrich took here's Jefferson. He took Clemens off the field. Okay, and he brought Sherwood on. Here's Sherwood. So now we're in our normal 4-3. They are in 12. This is a tight end. This is a tight end. Wide receiver wide. So they're in 12 here. So it's 2nd and 2. They go shotgun in 12 personnel. So they went to 12. We responded by bringing in Sherwood. Again, motion. We get good pressure on that one, but they still get it off to Waddle. Now, what was Reed doing on this play? exactly. Let's take a look at this. Let's watch DJ Reed. Mosley's communicating something. Now Sherwood and Johnson, they kind of let them come in there, so it's sort of like, you know, one of those plays where they let you come in. They get it off the pass, but why is Reed so far back? That's what I don't get. Let's watch this play from the other side. Can I go? How do I go back? What I want to know is, I want to watch Reed. What is he doing? I think he got confused by this motion. See, this is a bad play by DJ. What is he doing here? Unless I'm misreading this, I think he got caught and is guarding this area for some reason, but lets Waddle get open. Because this guy's covered here, this guy's covered here. He really should be pressing the line, my opinion. But I think he got caught. And then he missed a tackle to add to it. But yeah. So I think, yeah, so Sluggo's right. So, like, I think that hopefully the Jets learn from this for this year, because I guarantee you the 49ers are going to try some of this stuff early in the game. They're going to look and say, well, look, Tua and the boys had all the success. Let's just do what they did. And so hopefully we learn from this. I don't know what DJ was doing on this play. Maybe Mosley told him to do the wrong thing. He's way too far off, and then he misses the tackle on top of it. Is Tyreek not even playing in this game? Jeez. We lost 30-0, and Tyreek didn't even play. Yeah, looked like he was in his zone, but I'm not sure if he should have been. It seemed like he thought he should have been in some sort of zone, Sluggo, but I think he was wrong. I don't know he was just guarding grass, and on that play, it seemed like he should have pressed the line and just taken away Waddle. There's no real reason for him to be in his zone. Yeah, we talked about that, Roger. I told you what was going to happen. He did have a great camp. And cornerbacks like that have good camps, especially for the Jets, everybody knows we have good defensive coaches. They're going to get claimed. They're going to be popular claims because those guys are hard to find, but we just had nowhere to put him. But now, Roger, he has a chance to have a career, right? He's probably going to stick on their roster, and we'll see how he performs on special teams, but he can make a career for himself much better on the Panthers than he could here. So it's better for him if you think about it, Roger. Yeah, 30-0, and they didn't even have Tyreek. That's crazy. All right, now here we are again, 4-3 now. But Ashton Davis is in here. So you see, already the first three plays, we're messing with our front seven to a big extent. We had Sherwood on once. We had Michael Clemens on once. Now he's not. Now here's Ashton Davis playing big nickel. And again, they're shotgun. And again, they're 12. So without Tyreek, that's why they're in 12 more often. This guy's a tight end back here, I think. And they do a pitch to the right. Sauce. That was no good. Well, he did keep him. He did force him inside, I'll say that. So we could see Ashton Davis a bunch in this game as well. Big nickel. I guess that's not terrible on Sauce's part. He just kind of kept him to the inside, and then Quincy cleaned it up. All right, so here we are again. This is 4-3, well, 4-2-5, or whatever you count Ashton Davis as. He's a third safety. They're in 12 again. Two tight ends on the line. This looks pretty good so far. What happened here? This one they found a hole in our zone and they were able to hit it. So I don't know what's going on here. Maybe Sauce is late. Is Sauce late on this one? Like a few seconds late. I mean, look how he catches up, but it seemed like maybe he was a little late. But also look how quickly Tua gets rid of the ball. So I think they're going to want to replicate something like that where Purdy's getting rid of the ball. Look how quickly back foot hits, ball's gone. Because JFM's right there. Back foot hits, boom, ball's gone. If he waited just a second longer, Sauce would have been in coverage and JFM would have clocked him. So that's the other thing. It's going to be a very timing-oriented game. If you're seeing Purdy, back foot hit, ball comes out. Back foot hits, ball comes out. Back foot hits, ball comes out. Back foot hits, ball comes. If you're seeing that, like boom, 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 we're in trouble. we're going to be in a lot of trouble. But if you see him hesitating, hitching, okay, then things are going our way. So that's something to keep in mind. Yep, this is true, Roger. They brought him back, but he's on the P squad. He had one catch. He's not really a big factor. And Billy's here. A Sauce is a Sauce, of course. Yeah, Sluggo, you're gonna have to get over this. I'm telling you, buddy. We run zone, and zone is not worse than man. You can't really run a lot of man in the modern day NFL because there's too many running quarterbacks. And not only that, but a lot of coverages are mixed. They're mixed man and zone. You might have two man. Look at this right here. This is probably an example of two man. Let's see what this looks like. Where it's a mix of zone and man. Like it looks to me like Michael Carter has this man, 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 and these two are probably in zone. Maybe not up here. This is the other problem with man. Look what they're going to do. You go to man, look what they do. That one was a bad pass, so it didn't work too good. But you let everybody go down, and then you just throw it to your tight end, throw it to your running back. Now this was a bad pass, a little bit high, so it threw it off. But in concept, this works pretty good. In fact, here's Robbie Chosen right here. In theory, so everybody's gone. We're rushing the passer, but he has enough time. Now, Quincy's going to be on the running back. But they have a blocker here who should take care of Quincy. He does? No, that's no good. Well, that's Eichenberg. You can ask the Miami Dolphin fans about Eichenberg. So, guy misses his block and the pass is off and Quincy cleans it up. But that's something else you can do if you're a man. Let everybody go downfield and just drop it off. So we had a big problem against them, and I think we're going to have a similar problem against the 49ers. This is Bryce Huff back on the field here. See, you clear everybody out. There's no defenders left here. Right now, if Michael Carter doesn't make this tackle, we're in big trouble. And he doesn't, and we're in big trouble. No bueno. No bueno. And they got tons of guys. They picked up another running back in the draft this year. He's very fast, Jalen Wright. They also have Malik Washington. The Dolphins, that is. Not the 49ers. This is going to be a big challenge. I wonder if we're going to... No, but they're punting. So even with that, We still kind of stopped him. I disagree with you, Slogo. I disagree. You cannot run exclusive man in the current NFL. The quarterbacks will just gouge you with their legs all day long. You want to see Josh Allen run for 200 yards in a game? Play man straight man all game. I'm telling you, it doesn't work. He'll just wait 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, and he's gone. Josh Allen would kill us if we played straight man all day. And there's too many guys like that nowadays. They can all run. Everybody can run. Let's see what else we got here. So those are examples, I think, of what we're going to see. I think they had a penalty or something. Let's see if I can. See if I can. Like if I just want to see the Miami offensive plays, I wonder if I could do that on here. Okay. Yeah, let's take a look at this. How did they get down here? Our offense must have. This was after the turnover, right? That was good stuff. Quincy in there. And other boys cleaned it up. See, but this is also an example of our offense being bad, put our defense in a bad spot, right? If we had a competent offense, they don't get the ball at the 2-yard line, expecting the defense to come up with a stop here. It's pretty crazy. So the offense should really help out the defense this year. Although, look at this. 2 plays, they don't do anything so far. And that's with Mostert. And Armstead is playing in this game. It's their great left tackle. Though, to me, that's holding. His arms are a little outside the shoulder pads. But, okay. Third and goal. Motion. Another run, and this time he gets it. But you can't expect the defense to hold up against that. Too much. Those bastards. Let's see one more. This doesn't tell me. All right. Well, I think we'll call it a night with this. I'm going to play around with this pro thing more until I kind of get it down pat. Let's see how I can do this. Stop sharing this. All right. Unless you have Q's for A's, any questions, any concerns, et cetera, anything you want to talk about, we can take some questions. Check the news. The Giants are signing back Adoree Jackson. No big deal. That's it. Doesn't look like much in the news department. Oh, listen to this, a bit of news. So I heard from our friend Phil Adams, the great Phil Adams over in England. He's been without internet for 7 days. 7 days. Can you imagine being without internet for 7 days? I get upset when I don't have internet for 5 seconds. He's been without internet. So if you haven't seen him in the chat rooms, he has not had internet for 7 days. Very bad. I don't know what's going on over there in England. They need to fix it, and they need to fix it right away. They need to fix it right now. It's not fair. We don't get to share he didn't even know what happened with the Jets-Giants game. I had to tell him we won. Don't worry, buddy. You know what I mean? So, in case you've been wondering, hey, where's the great Phil Adams? How come he hasn't been in the chat rooms? Well, he's been without internet for 7 whole days over in England, which is terrible. Well, Billy, I don't think so. Unless you know of any cheerleaders who'd like to come on, but typically the cheerleaders and old Frankie, not a good mix. Meaning they don't like me. What would the cheerleaders do anyways? Could have them on in the background. I mean, I could get a background of cheerleaders, but I don't know what purpose that would serve. Harry W. is here. Harry, our good friend Phil Adams, without internet for 7 days. Not 7 minutes, not 7 hours, 7 days. Yeah, you should get satellite. I don't even know if they have it there. You should get Starlink or something. God's sakes. Western world has fallen and U.S. is the last stand. Yeah. They'd wear bikinis. Well, cheerleaders don't typically wear bikinis, Billy. That's not what they do. They wear cheerleading outfits. So, yeah, no, I don't think we'll be doing that on this channel. But there's plenty of other channels out there, Billy, that you can do that with, or that do that. I'm sure. There's plenty of stuff out there for you. Crazy, yeah, right, Harry? It is totally crazy. Cheerleaders can jump on a trampoline. Yeah, remember that show? What was it, The Man Show, where they did that? Well, they put an end to that one, didn't they? They put an end to that one. Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, we'll call it an evening. I'll see you on Sunday morning. Wish me luck on my exam tomorrow. Let's hope old Frankie doesn't fail it. We cannot be failing exams over here. But nonetheless, I'll see you on Sunday. Thanks for showing up on this random Friday night video.